smell like a bitch. You're so smart, hide your heart, to gain some peace of mind. You're so right in your eyes, to press your point. I won't let myself become just like you. Pointing fingers, it's all you ever do. Well, this time, this one's for you. This one's for you. The perfect way, you no longer exist, you're no longer in my
Welcome to AfterMat, your source for WWE PLE recap. I am your host, the Secret Boss Cal, alongside me as always, and back again, I should say, since she wasn't here last time, the Glamazon Delisha, along with a new member of the stable. What's going on, Delisha? Who do we have there?
Hello. This is Avery. She's here to give her thoughts on our PLE for the month.
Some bad blood intake, or input, I should say, and see how she
Yeah.
felt about it. Well, yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about today, is bad blood, I don't know, I guess it's, I was gonna say, like, what is the first big PLE after a Big Four, right? Because this was after SummerSlam, I think.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have one in September, did we? I don't think we had one in September, did we? Oh no, that was Bash in Berlin. So that was like one of those like the foreign ones. So it wasn't really like we had a. It's like the first home big PLE since now that they go away for foreign
That
ones
was
too.
Berlin, right?
What?
September was Berlin, right?
Yeah. So then and then next month we're going away for Crown Jewel or whatever. But we don't usually cover those. So though there is an interesting thing I can talk about now since we're not really gonna talk about it later. They are having a now like champion versus champion, which they usually had for Clash of Champions, and then they moved it to the Survivor Series, champion versus champion. But they're gonna have champion versus champion, and they're gonna get the Crown Jewel title. But like, I don't know why they're not including NXT now, right? Because NXT should be included because I think NXT is pretty valid, and like that's probably one of the best Survivor Series PLEs they had when they did you know brand versus brand, but they included NXT in it. I think that was the best one they've had in a long time. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Really enjoyed when they did that, and that was the only time that they did that. But you would, I guess they don't. They're for that was just a maybe a one time only just to establish that brand because that was when it first went live on USA Network. So more than likely it was just to establish that.
Yeah, and I think like doing travel for all these different brands now is going to be a lot more difficult. So, um, yeah, I think that they're not gonna, they're not going that route with having to remember what happened. Like the funny thing about that, the reason why that happened was because remember like all those people got sucked in Saudi Arabia, so they didn't have
Oh
enough.
no, it was no them coming in to like quote unquote invade was always the plan. They
Uh,
just did 2 weeks earlier than they expected to.
because because of
Yeah,
that.
and I know that because I recently watched that. Like I even watched like Raw and SmackDown and NXT those couple of weeks leading up to Survivor Series, and it for a moment you're like, how many times are they gonna quote unquote invade this Raw or SmackDown? But it's because they
It's terrible security. That's what it is.
Yeah, basically.
All right. Well, today we're talking about Bad Blood, the final PLE before Survivor Series, our next big four. I know we're not there's Crown Jewel, but we don't really cover those, and I don't think anything really significant is going to happen storyline wise, because it is like champion versus champion. Oh wait, did I just mute myself by accident? I don't know how I did that. How did I do that? You can hear me now, Delisha? Oh, Delisha's frozen now. Anyway, hopefully you guys can hear me over there. But the first match of the I usually talk about how we thought of it. I going in thought was like a very good card. I didn't really mind many of the matches. I was like, oh, I definitely want like triple CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. That was definitely one of the major ones to cover, and the Bloodline because of certain implications. But I'm gonna go ahead and start covering the first match because that's mine. The first match was the Hell in a Cell match. Pretty much the rubber match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre that was featured in a cell, and this was probably the match that people want to see as the final match because hold on, let me just message Lisa. I don't know if she knows that her thing is frozen. I feel like maybe something happened with the kids and they might have pulled the plug or something. There she goes. She just left. She'll probably come back. Let me just message her. So now you got a giant picture of me until she comes back. But I think, yeah, maybe the kids might have pulled. Yep, she's got to restart. She just messaged me. All right, anyway. So the first match was the rubber match. This is the match a lot of people want to see is the final match of the evening. And unfortunately, they made it the first match, which is not bad either. But for the implications that were happening at the end of the night, which we'll get to later, they made this the first match. And this was the one that I don't know. See, like if you guys remember, I've been complaining about this rivalry. I love the rivalry, right? All the talk that prior to the matches about how I'm going to destroy you, I'm going to make it so that you can never walk again, or I'm going to kill you, and all that stuff, never lived up to what they hyped, right? So I don't know if they were saving it for this match or not, but it definitely delivered in this match because they did live up to the hype, in my opinion, for this match because it was very brutal. We saw crazy weapons and stuff. So it started out with them just going at it normally, and then Drew McIntyre kind of dominated in the beginning of the match until they went to the outside and CM Punk was able to what do you call it? Reverse momentum and what the hell? I don't know why I keep like muting myself. That's so weird. I gotta stop touching my mouse. I think that's what's happening. I'll have to go through my controls and see what's up with that. But anyway, yeah. So CM Punk was able to reverse momentum and then pull out a table from underneath the ring. But while he was doing that, it took some time. Allowed Drew McIntyre to recoup, and he hit I think he hit a Claymore right away. And obviously he couldn't capitalize on that because CM Punk was on the outside. So he went and grabbed a toolbox from underneath the ring and pulled out like a chain, some wrenches, and all that kind of stuff underneath it. So then they started just going at it, just hitting each other with weapons and stuff. And then they put one of the tables in the ring, and Drew McIntyre ripped like the leg off of it and started beating CM Punk with that. And then CM Punk tried to like gouge out Drew McIntyre's eyes with that said table leg and stuff like that. So that table's just in the ring for no reason, just like with a broken thing. And then later in the match, CM Punk, I believe it was CM Punk that set up another table outside, or maybe it was Drew that set up another table parallel to the ring, or I guess perpendicular, depending on which angle you look at it. But parallel to the cage, I should say, or perpendicular, I guess, also which angle you look at it, to the between the wall of the cage and the ring. Another table set up. We'll get to that one later. Then they started attacking each other with a wrench that they pulled out from the toolbox. CM Punk was like jumping off the top rope, hitting Drew McIntyre with a wrench and stuff like that. Then sorry, I lost my call because you have to have people in the call. So I will have to maximize that. Yeah. So from that, when that happens, we had I lost my train of thought because now I was trying to figure out what happened there. They're back on the outside, and CM Punk's probably pretty much bloody at this point, and another Claymore hit. Then Drew McIntyre picked up the ring, the steel ring steps, and started hit Drew McIntyre with that. CM Punk with that. That busted him open, I believe. And then a lot of fighting happened on the outside for a while, and then back in the ring and using the Claymore, some I'm trying to think what else happened. Nothing much else happened until CM Punk rolled to the outside, and Drew McIntyre went to go get him, but CM Punk grabbed the toolbox and hit like Drew McIntyre with it behind him without seeing where he hit him, and that busted Drew McIntyre open really badly. Apparently, that was not planned, and he had to get like 16 staples for his head because of that. They both got back into the ring, started fighting back and forth. Then CM Punk hit a GTS, but Drew McIntyre rolled to the outside, so he couldn't do anything there. They went back inside, started like fighting again, back and forth, and CM Punk then went to the top to go hit Drew McIntyre, but Drew McIntyre climbed out to the outside, grabbed CM Punk and suplexed him to the outside onto the table that was originally set up by CM Punk, or Drew, I forget who set it up, but like set up earlier in the match. That was right next to the table, between the ring and the cage. Then they got back into the ring. CM Punk was able to put a sharpshooter on Drew McIntyre, kind of reminiscent of Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, with the blood flowing and stuff. But this time, Drew did not pass out. Drew did not tap. Nothing. He was able to grab a wrench and hit CM Punk to get out of the thing. Then CM Punk put on an Anaconda Vice, and Drew McIntyre tried to hit him with another wrench again, but CM Punk intercepted the wrench and started hitting Drew with it. And then I start calling again. And then again. And then what else happens? I already talked about the Anaconda Vice. Okay, then CM Punk hit Drew McIntyre hit the white noise onto the steel steps that Drew McIntyre brought into the ring. That didn't stop CM Punk. Then Drew McIntyre went for the Claymore. CM Punk dodged it, and before that happened, Drew McIntyre grabbed a bag from underneath the ring and opened it up on top of CM Punk, and all the little beads from the CM Punk bracelets that they've been fighting over for the last however many months. And then he went for the Claymore, but CM Punk dodged it, and Drew McIntyre took a bad bump onto the stairs that were already in the ring. Then CM Punk took the chain that was in the toolbox that was opened earlier. He wrapped it around his knee, and then hit a GTS onto. Well, first he stuffed the beads into Drew McIntyre's mouth, then hit the GTS on the knee that had the chain wrapped around it. Got the pin 1, 2, 3. It was a very brutal match. I was finally happy with what we saw because they've been talking about forever how brutal the match should be and all that. But, it wasn't that brutal, and it was kind of annoying. So finally, it was nice to see how brutal it was, and it was, a great match overall. And I, would like to hear Delicia's take on it. Hopefully she gets back. Let me see if she's messaging. She says she had to restart, so I don't know how bad the situation is or not. Okay. She's in the chat. Okay. Yeah. And that's about it. Like, it was a good match. I thought it finally ended the whole thing. The cut on Drew McIntyre's head is pretty severe and pretty bad. Like I said, it took about like 16 staples to the head to close it and all that, but it was definitely worth it. I think all the match and all the hype that happened prior was leading up to this final battle, and it was worthy of Hell in a Cell. Like, they haven't been doing Hell in a Cell that often, so it was definitely worthy of Hell in a Cell, and I think it was great. And it's, what more can you ask for? I think it's probably one of the best feuds. Other than since this is the new AfterMat season, I believe this is probably the best feud we've had so far with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk this season of AfterMat, because other than that, we have don't really have much. We have like the Bloodline versus, I don't even know who the Bloodline's feuding with. Cody, I guess, in a way. But
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. And then we also have like Andrade versus Carmelo, but I think this is the best. Oh, and then we also have the Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley thing as well. But I think this is the best storyline we have so far. But yeah. Go ahead, Alicia. What are your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. I thought, given just like you were saying, that it was one of the better stories on both brands. I think that this kind of deserved the main event, and we can get into that after we talk about everything that happened at the end. But I do still think the match itself deserves to close out the show just because of the brutality, and it seems like supposedly the end of this. I believe they're going to move on. I do think it's time, but so yeah, I do think this would have been a good one to close out the show. I mean, I know it's not there's not, because you know me, like before, I always say I like the namesake of the show to end the show, but I mean, this wasn't Hell in Cell because they're not doing those anymore. But this feud and the PLE's bad blood kind of encompassed this more so than our other match that we had. But I still really enjoyed it. Drew has been putting in his best work since in the last year or two that he's gone back to being a heel, and I'm actually enjoying CM Punk. I was never really the biggest CM Punk fan, but I do think so far what we've been able to see when he's been on screen has been really good. Again, when you care about what you're doing, it shows.
Yeah, and then I mean, to be honest, I think all the matches, aside from maybe Bailey and Nia Jax, are bad blood, right? I think all the matches have pretty much grudge matches, aside from Bailey
Yeah.
and Nia Jax. So I don't know. I really did enjoy a lot of it, and I thought it was a pretty good match. And um, I don't know, like I don't think that. I mean, yeah, it should have been like I when I thought this was like the what do you call it, the final match originally planned to be the final match. I was excited, but then like it kind of gives it away when they don't make it the final match because something else might bigger happen at the end of the night, and there's only one thing that's bigger than everyone else in the WWE universe, and we know what that's going to be. But we'll talk about that when we get to that. But yeah, I thought it was a great match. I think it should end the rivalry. Will we see them come out tonight and shake hands? Probably not. But will we see some sort of like finality to it tonight on Raw from it? Maybe. We'll see. I'd like to see them face to face one last time. But I don't know. I think they should sell it as if being like neither of them should be on here. At the end of the match, CM Punk did collapse and get oxygen, and Drew McIntyre did walk off on his own power, but he had to get his head stapled. So I'm hoping that they don't show up to show off to like you know show off the brutality of the match, but it being the first Raw after a PLE, the fans want to see those headline wrestlers and all that. So I don't know if we'll get that, but we'll see. All right, so the next match of the evening was for the WWE Women's Championship, featuring WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax against Bailey, or Pamela, as Tippy Stratton said. Go ahead, Delisha.
Sorry, I haven't been on Discord on my phone and it disappeared and I couldn't figure out where the mute button was. But also, I'm trying to find my notes because I don't have my laptop synced up to my phone. And so, lovely. But yeah, we were going through Bailey versus Nia, like part 2. Well, I know it's not the second time they fought, but I mean for this particular title, I guess there was a lot kind of writing on with this match, as there was the I don't know the word I'm looking for, but we have Tiffany in the background with her Money in the Bank briefcase, and we also have Naomi trying to vie for the title still, even after her loss to Bailey last week, I believe it was. And so you kind of have that going on in the background with, like we were saying earlier, with this being another grudge match between these two. We pretty much had Nia trying. Well, I think pretty much they kind of both tried to end it early or try to put on their finishing moves early on to try to just end it and go. But we had me kind of similarly to their match back at SummerSlam, where we have Nia, who's being the like Goliath figure to Bailey's David, because pretty much almost anyone who gets in the ring with Nia is a David and Goliath situation, with a select exceptions for a few of the talent. But this time, Bailey had a little more like aggression going on. She was going on trying to rely more on speed and bring on a little bit more of a viciousness that we didn't see in the previous matches before. Like I said, during SummerSlam as well, with a bunch of kicks and strikes and punching, and or as you would see, like her doing like suicide dives from the rope from the outside to try to I guess like drag Nia down to or weaken her down so that she could either one hit a Bailey to Bailey or the Rose Plant to try to get the pin. We did see Bailey try to recreate her I think power bomb move off the top rope to Jax, but this time Jax was waiting for it and she was trying to do her Karana, but that didn't really plan out the way she did. But because it even took the announcers a few seconds to realize that Bailey didn't hit the power bomb and that Nia like shifted her weight to like flip Bailey over. I still think it was it was a pretty funny spot, but I do think they got the point across that of what Nia was trying to do, even though it was kind of botched. But you kind of got the gist of what she wanted to do. We did get Nia then crushing Bailey with the power bomb onto the steps and then tossing her into the barricade, and then we giving her a Samoan drop. Excuse me. And then later on, we see. I think Bailey was trying to attempt this, or she did do the same thing by try to give her a Samoan drop. I thought that was funny. And but we did see Bailey get off a sort of like stunner move and the Rose Plant, but could not get the pinfall because the ref got struck by Nia when we had excuse me when the referee got hit. And of course this brings out Tiffany Stratton, who of course everyone thinks now she's coming out to attack Bailey and then possibly turn on Nia. She came out to hit Bailey, and then Nia was still knocked out from Bailey's I think powerbomb move, and Tiffany looked like she wanted to cash in as the ref was starting to gain consciousness back. And then really what made me laugh the most during this match is how Nia popped up like the Undertaker when he's like laying down on the ground and just giving her the stare down. But all this chaos did give Nia enough to give her I don't know what the move was called, but when she jumps down from the top rope and lands on. Oh, it's called the Annihilator.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I'm saying like Nia later, like Nia. Like
yeah, and got the 1, 2, 3 on Bailey. This match pretty much went how I thought it would go. I didn't think it was time for Nia to drop the championship. They really still want to have some fun playing it off with Tiffany and Nia. I didn't think she would cash in. But I do think they need to stop doing this with every Nia match, because I think it's happened like 3-4 times now where she would come out, and yes, a couple of instances she was like trying to help Nia win, but then to have her like turn around and think that she's going for the title, it's gonna get old pretty fast if they don't either pull the trigger on that pretty soon, right. or they just like drop it for a little bit, let us forget. Well, we won't forget about it because she'll be holding the briefcase, but let us forget about it for a little bit, and then perfectly. If she's going to cash in on Nia, she's basically going to become a face because everyone loves her anyway. And with Nia being the huge heel, and if that happens, I do want to see Nia just go on like a tear and just like destroy everyone, because that's what I feel like that's the kind of reaction she should have. given that she's already like gotten Tiffany's face, being like, "Girl, don't you cash in on me, or I will destroy you," type of deal. So if that was to happen, then I need to see her do that. But did you enjoy the match, and do you think that, of course, if it was right for Nia to retain, or would you have wanted to see another Bailey run?
No, I was happy. I want Nia to be champion for a really long time. I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see like Tiffany. Like everyone knows I love Tiffy, but I want to see Tiffy cash in and lose. And I want to see Nia be champion for a really long time. And I want the person who I want to beat her is a returning Alexa Bliss. That's what I want to see. I want to see Little Miss Bliss come back and beat Nia Jax, and that'd be cool. I feel like everyone who like, I think it's just like a foregone. I don't know how many people who not successfully cashed in. I mean, I think it's Baron Corbin and John Cena. I don't know about on the women's side. How many people have not?
No one on the women's side has failed.
No one is. Yeah. So Tiffany has so much hype, and everyone already loves her so much that like, I as much as I love her, like I said, I'd probably rather see Nia stay champion for a while and just be a dominant force that she should be. Now that she's not really hurting people yet, we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I feel like Alexa Bliss coming back and fighting her would be kind of cool to see, and like ending her long reign, even though they're kind of having like reverse of what like when Alexa Bliss was champion, Nia Jax was that girl that was at her side all the time, and then Nia Jax finally beat her at WrestleMania, I think it was, with like a Samoan drop off the top rope or middle rope, whatever it was, that one year. Now they kind of reverse it with like Nia as a champion, like a girl kind of like Alexa Bliss, like a gymnast, is her sidekick. And I'd rather see like her true like old friend come, because now like basically Tiffy Stratton's replaced Alexa Bliss. Remember, like Nia and Alexa Bliss used to be best friends in real life, and now it's more like Tiffy and her, like all their TikToks together and all that kind of stuff. So maybe even a feud between Tiffy and Alexa to get another shot to be the next number one contender or whatever after Tiffy loses the Money in the Bank. I did see a funny tweet though when you talk about some of those botches. Someone wrote like Scott Steiner is somewhere Scott Steiner's smiling down in heaven when they're like when Nia Jax tried to do the Frankensteiner kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Even though Scott Steiner's not dead, it's just funny that someone wrote that, and I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, I think don't Nia. It's like don't try those. Like I know she's trying to be like a gymnast now. Like how she's like watch me like next I'm gonna cartwheel to the ring or something. She says she like tweeted that one time.
Oh yeah.
And like
yeah.
and she also tried to do like skin the cat at the end of the match. I don't know if you noticed that. She should have skinned the cap, and like then she's like put her one leg up and got into the ring. Like it was just really bad. Like it's another awkward thing that she did. But like the all that stuff Nia Jax should be trying to do at house shows. Don't do it on a PLE where it's like that's probably where you're gonna have your most viewership, right? So don't do it at the PLE. Yeah. Do it at a house show. Try it out at a house show and see how it comes out. But yeah, that. I'm enjoying Nia's reign. I love her finisher, the Annihilator. The best take of it has definitely got to be Lyra Valkyria at King and Queen of the Ring I think that's when it was, when she tried to powerbomb her but got right into that Annihilator. I love that finisher. Shades of Yokozuna back in the day. And I just want to see her stay champion for a while, like I said, and not till Alexa Bliss beats her.
Yeah, I will say I'm definitely enjoying her in this run that she's currently on. You could tell she's put in the work to be better, and we gotta appreciate that when you see someone doing the hard work. Like you said, well, I don't know if I want to see Bliss come back and take the belt off her. I actually don't even know who I would want to do that if it's not gonna be Tiff. But I'm all for this Nia dominant run right now.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what I'm saying. Like Nia is only looking as good because of her opponents, right? I'm not sure Naomi can make her look as good. Bailey is more seasoned and like that, so I think that's why she looks so good. But Tiffy probably won't make her look good either. Like as good as Tiffy is in the ring, I don't think she can handle Nia Jax and bounce off of her like like a dance, like a wrestling match is like a dance. I don't think she'd be a good partner to dance with Nia Jax. Bailey is that person. I think Bianca would be that person. Something more powerful. Like I don't think Naomi and all those people could do it. Becky more so because she's just like that veteran, like grizzly veteran now. She could probably do it, but I mean, I don't want to see Becky as champion again for a while. I don't even know if she's part of the WWE anymore. Who knows? But like I said, Alexa Bliss can't really do it either. But I just think there's a story to be told there because of their friendship, and now Tiffany's her new best friend. I think that's just interesting.
I know. I'm good.
We'll go on to the next match, which is another grudge match: Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. So Finn Balor came out alone. Would he stay alone? Well, when it goes to King's Judgment Day, they usually don't stay alone. Oh, we lost Alicia again. Probably. Oh wait, there she is. She's coming back with the camera, I think now. Anyway, basically, Damian Priest dominated this match for the majority of the match. He was just using his power and strength to like dominate Finn Balor. Finn Balor did get some moves in there. It was mostly a sling blade. That, if you notice that, every time he like got back into the match, it was a sling blade using his speed and agility to come back into the match. But it was only for a split second. Like, he literally did not do anything this entire match. It was just dominated by Damian Priest and his power. And Finn Balor didn't really get much done. He had a broken arrow, tried to pin Balor. Balor got up, hit another sling blade on him, but then Damian Priest started punching the hell out of a bunch of punches, and then he hit a Razor's Edge onto the apron because they were out on the outside for a while. Then Damian Priest brought him back into the ring, and he thought he was going to go for the pin, but Carlito and JD McDonough come to the ring and cause all these distractions. This allows Balor to hit the coup de grace, but Damian Priest kicked out. Then what was kind of pretty weird is like Balor went for 2 more coup de grace while Damian Priest was standing up. So he kind of came on the back of his neck / back while Damian Priest was standing up. And he hit him. Then I think they went for a third one, but his third one was countered into a South of Heaven. And Damian Priest got the pin 1, 2, 3. It was just a weird match. Like, it was normal. I would expect Finn Balor to put up a better fight, but he just got pretty much dominated by Damian Priest's power, which is expected. But like, Finn Balor is one of the best technical wrestlers we have in WWE, and he put up a better fight against Roman Reigns, who's arguably the toughest opponent, like prime Roman Reigns, the one who had the championship for like 47 years. But then again, he was in demon form, so that his overall level goes up when you're in demon form, I guess. Like, he damn near almost beat Roman Reigns until the rope snapped. And they never explained that, did they? They never explained why the rope snapped. So, I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't happy with this match. Like, I love Finn Balor. I just think they just made him look pretty bad. Like, I don't know. That's just what I thought. What do you think, Delisha?
Yeah, there's a reason the internet is calling him Pin Balor because he barely wins any matches anymore. Well, they've been calling him that I think since before Judgment Day, but especially since even though he is now a tag team champion, I don't know what's going on with him or creative in him and like not letting him be dominant. I really don't know. Like, because I do feel like Damian, with the good nature that he has still with the fans, he could have eaten the pin, even if it was because of judgment of like Carlito and JD getting interference as well. I feel like Finn really needed this win, unless they have something in the works in the long run for him, of really getting back to a resurgence. I don't like, how are we supposed to take him serious if, especially even though they keep saying there is no leader in Judgment Day, like it seems like he naturally is supposed to be the de facto leader.
Right.
So I'm not. Again, like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, this faction is once again on the downslide of not being quote unquote cool or effective.
And like, I just think they should get rid of the Judgment Day. It's not needed. I like Liv and Dominic could be their own thing, and JD McDonough and Carly are just worthless. Finn Balor should be his own guy doing whatever, be a heel or a face, doesn't matter. Or get on the Bullet Club train or something like that. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Bring back Adam Cole and all that kind of stuff. That's gonna be fun to watch. But it just sucks. I love Finn Balor, and I hate seeing him like this, and I never wanted to be part of the Judgment Day. You know, it was fun with his edge and all that, but then we know what happened there. So I don't know. This is just not. I didn't have any stake in this match. I thought it was really stupid, and I mean, Damian Priest. I like Damian Priest while he was champion. I think he had a more. I don't know if you watched the last aftermath, Alicia, when I talked about with Will. I was saying how like Damian Priest had a more substantial title reign so far, or his title reign so far, or whatever he had as a title reign has been more substantial than what Cody has had so far. Cody's championship has been pretty much nothing, insignificant. All of it was the chase. There's nothing after that. Like he's done absolutely nothing. And that's another thing I want to bring up. I don't know if I will bring it up at the end of the show or not, but I will talk about it now. The current stack of champions we have now are probably the worst in the history of WWE. Like, all the people who are champions right now are probably the worst we've ever seen. Apart from Gunther, maybe Nia as well because she's been doing pretty well. And I love Liv Morgan, but like it's pretty stupid. Like this feud that she's having over Dominic. I have a point to make when we get to talk about the next match, which you're going to cover. I have a point to make about that championship. And I thought someone bring it up also on Twitter as well. But apart from Gunther, I think Gunther's and possibly Nia, like they are the only like champions to watch. And like Gunther's not even fighting, right? Like he's this thing going. Tonight he is, yes, but like he's not really even fighting. So that's like the one person champion I care about is not even fighting. I mean, I guess we do have the People's Champion, which is probably the most important one. So that's good too. But other than that, like we have Cody who sucks. We have who else we have? Like not that Liv whole thing is not really been like. Well, I'll get to what I had to say about Liv because I love Liv. Then Intercontinental Champion is Pre-Show Jey Uso who sucks. Then we have Max Dupree as the U.S. Champion who sucks, and then the Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa. As much as I love the Bloodline, they suck as the World Tag Team Champions. The other tag team champions, I don't even know who the other tag team champions are. Oh yeah, Judgment Day, who suck. Yeah, right. Like it's like the worst set of champions I've ever seen in the history of WWE. Like it's just the worst. Like
worse in the history of WWE.
And like I like Bianca and Jade, but they're like barely fighting either, right? I was so excited to see the belt underneath the little cloth. And like, they finally get announced that the women's Intercontinental Champion, but no, they're not going to because there's only one belt there. I can tell there's one belt there, so there's not going to be the women's Intercontinental Championship. We're going to get the stupid Saudi Championship. As much as we love Saudis here and what they stand for here at Aftermat, I just hate this. Like, I just really think it's the weakest group of champions we've had in a really, really long time, and it's just no fun. There's no fun. Like the fact that a bracelet and an Ulafala means more in this day of WWE than a championship belt does, that shows you how the state of the champions are in WWE. That's my rank for now. But yeah. Do you have anything to say about that, or do you want to go on to your next match?
I do, but for Cody's point, I'll talk about that after this match because I actually had a conversation about that with someone else, and then we'll talk about the women after this recap because it goes into that as well.
They should have left it on Roman Reigns. I know he wanted a break and he was shooting a movie and his health was getting pretty bad, but they should have kept it on Roman Reigns until Survivor Series just so he beat Hogan's record, so it had more significance than it already did. Because like I said, Cody's doing absolutely nothing with it right now, and it's pretty stupid. Will, you should go back for like 5 minutes. Welcome, Will. Go back 5 minutes, and I was mentioning you and what we talked about on the previous Aftermath when we were talking about Bash of Berlin, and I was talking about Cody's championship compared to Damian Priest's championship and the significance of it. But I just ran down like every championship just now and what I think about it. So if you want to go back 5 minutes from run, you just come in right now, or like 10 minutes, like at the end after the Finn Balor Damian Priest match coverage that I covered right now, I go into a little rant. You want to watch that, Will? You'll get educated about wrestling. All right. The next match is for the Women's World Championship, featuring the Women's World Champion Liv Morgan against Rhea Ripley, with Dominic Mysterio in a shark cage suspended above the entranceway. Sort of. Go ahead, Alicia.
Yeah. I don't know why, because when they did it before, it was over the ring. I thought it was gonna be over the ring, but I do think this is more production wise makes it's much better than it being ramp
Well,
and
sorry to interrupt you, Alicia. But two things I'm gonna say. The one reason why it wasn't over the ring because of Owen Hart, right? God forbid that shit falls and lands on one of the women or the ref. That's the end of that.
no, the last time they had that I almost said shark cage overhead wasn't what's his face name? It was like Carmella versus someone else with that I don't know the name of the dude anymore. Remember the one who helped her win the first Money in the Bank
Oh,
previously?
Ellsworth.
Yeah. Wasn't he over the ring or
I
was he?
I, I don't know. I don't think they would do that after Owen Hart, but I don't know. Who knows? And the second thing is I have stuff to say about production, but we'll get to that later. Go ahead.
Yeah, but but yeah, so they have technically in as far as the match, but Rhea announced that Dominic would be hanging up because he's afraid of heights as well as being claustrophobic. Although I thought that was already going to be the case because, like I said, they did that before. Um, but immediately we had like Rhea and Liv trying to tear into each other, of course, because they have like beef with each other, not just with Judgment Day and Dominic, but just in general from them used to being a tag team and just Liv wanted to crash Rhea's world down, basically, so to speak. Um, but we did have Liv trying to be much like with Bayley and Nia, because you still have that strength versus basically smaller statured person. I mean, I know Rhea isn't in terms of like mass big as Nia, but she's as powerful as her. So it's hitting those same beats of like David versus Goliath. With Liv trying to also be nefarious and attacking Rhea's leg, which she injured a couple weeks ago when I forget. I think Liv hit her a chair or something like that. Um, to where she tried to give her the Oblivion the one that's off the ropes?
Yeah.
Okay. Tried to give her that again to try to have the match end sooner. I mean end, but Rhea kicked out, and then she would hit her with a code breaker again off the rope, and then tried to go for another Oblivion, but then Rhea, I guess was more aware at this time and kind of like countered it into like a head spring, head spring, like basically rolling out of it
Yeah, it was like
and
a front head spring flip. It was nice.
yeah,
I like that a lot.
cool. I don't think we've seen that before of someone countering the
Yeah, that was dope.
right?
That like I popped for. I couldn't pop because I watched it like 1 a.m. But like I popped for that, like how I popped for when Io, what's her name now, Sky or Shirai, whatever it is, when she did that thing to the rose plant and she like did the front forward like counter. I popped like that for that. I'm like great for Rhea Ripley, and she sold her bad leg too. Don't forget, she sold her bad leg too.
Yeah.
All right, go
and
ahead. Sorry.
and then Rhea would go ahead and get the upper hand. They did keep cutting back to Dominic back and forth throughout the match as he was trying to sell himself being scared. Because I don't know if he's genuinely afraid of heights or claustrophobic, but he was playing it up pretty well while being in the cage. It is kind of funny if your dad like is like this luchador and you're luchador adjacent and you're afraid of heights, I just think that's funny. Or maybe the top rope isn't as high to him. I don't know, but I just thought that was funny. He's afraid of heights, but he will jump off the top rope to do like a frog splash. Speaking of frog splashes, Rhea was channeling almost like her time being with Dominic, being and channeling Eddie Guerrero, doing the shimmy that the shoulder shimmy that Eddie would do to do a frog splash on or to Liv, and then at the very end, she like I think she blew a kiss at Dom, and then did the yeet. I don't know what you even call this, just up and down.
The stupidest freaking taunt ever in the history of WWE. That's what it is.
Side note,
Only morons do it.
Side note, he took that from Montez, who used to do that down in NXT. Side note.
Who took it from Logan Paul? That's what goes to show you how like stupid that is.
Have been doing that for a while.
No, Logan Paul did this when he first was YouTubering, like back in like the late 1900s or whatever it was.
you know me, I don't watch Logan Paul.
Well, neither do I. But like, he actually put out his video saying to pre-show Jey Uso that you stole that from me, and it shows the video from like 2001 or whatever. So was Carmelo Hayes doing that before 2001?
It's a standard concert move anyway.
I don't know. Well, I mean, the up down thing, yeah, that was done like, but the whole yeet saying was from Logan Paul, and that's when like all these little kids on Fortnite started saying it because of Logan Paul.
I mean, he made it popularize it with some of the kids of his audience, but he wasn't the first to do that hand move nor the yeet. Because I've heard that before him. Anyway, this was not what we were supposed to be talking about. And um, sorry, but I don't. We never see how he does it, but Dominic winds up picking the lock, and of course Corey Graves just had a field day with him saying that he learned that in jail and things like that. But Corey Graves and Michael Cole were pretty funny throughout the commentary on this match. That was pretty great, and I wasn't, and in that moment I wasn't sure what he was going to do. Because if he's so afraid of heights, he's not gonna like jump out.
Right.
But he still was like taunting Rhea.
It was only like 8 feet off the ground. He could have hung from it and just dropped down, which would have been fine.
He was tall enough for that.
Yeah.
But she did wind up bringing Liv to the outside of the ring and pretty much just trying to, for lack of a better term, kick her ass and in front of Dom, and like was pushing her into the barricade. And then, but so Dominic being concerned, he was like leaning over way too far and then like fell out, and it I don't know, it got me because I was like, what the heck? Because I thought he was really about to like land on his head or his back, until we realized he's caught up in
I just want to say, I don't know if you noticed while they're setting up the cage, him in the beginning of the match, they told him where that thing was. He asked, "Oh, where's the thing?" And they point out to where it is. I don't know if you caught that at the beginning of the match. I'm like, why are they telling him about a thing on the bottom of the cage around his ankle? Why do they keep telling him about that? And then I found out.
I mean, in reality, it's there to keep him safe. So I guess you could still play. Yeah, you could still play that up too. Like that the who's in charge? Pierce isn't a total um still didn't want him to like be hurt. So if they wanted to, they could add that in there. But he's like now hanging from the cage. So of course, what everyone is thinking, pinata time. So Rhea grabs a kendo stick and just starts wailing on him. Um, and I meant to mention this in the Drew Punk match, because much like here, hubris is what costs the match, so to speak. Because as Rhea attention is focused on Dom, she's not paying attention to what's going on in the background. Oh, I forgot to mention this earlier before she went to taunt Dom while the cage was open. She literally told the ref, "Hey, I'll be right back. I gotta handle some business." And he was just like, I don't remember the exact words. He was like, "Okay, that's fair." And I was like, I'm because he's supposed to count her out while she's outside the ring, and he didn't. And someone was like, "Well, at least she asked nicely." But that was very different and unorthodox, and I'm not really sure why the ref would even do that. Technically, Pierce should be reprimanding him for that because he's not doing his job. But I did think that was a funny wrinkle that we haven't seen before. I mean, we've seen refs, especially like guest refs, like ignore something that's going on purposely, like even though they know something's going on. But to actually outright ask the ref, "Hey, I'll be right back. I just want to handle the situation real quick." I thought that was hilarious, even though that makes no sense. But I don't remember what got the ref back out the ring, but he was trying to get Rhea, and then Liv kind of caught his attention somewhat until we see this other figure come off from the side, and it's a returning Raquel Rodriguez. But I think she arrived too early, or I don't know what happened. But when she attacked Rhea, the ref wasn't fully turned around, so he saw it. So this time he had to obey the rules and had to go for a DQ. And but and then Raquel would get Rhea back into the ring, and is it the
Tahana bomb.
And then she moved Liv over for the pinfall, although the bell had already rung for the DQ. So it was just kind of really messy finish for this match. that I overall enjoyed. Liv retains her championship. Dom is nursing his welts from the kendo sticks, and probably his ankle probably hurts a little bit too from hanging upside down for that long. But yeah, so it was. I think it was pretty much a somewhat repeat of their SummerSlam match, but with the addedness of Dom being in the cage. I did enjoy him selling himself being scared, and Rhea was dominant for most of the match as she should have been. Um, there's really no way clean pin that Liv should be beating Rhea anyway. I also didn't think it was time for um, Liv to drop the belt storyline wise. I do think it's a little bit better to have Rhea chase a little bit. Although even though I do agree with you that Liv's run isn't that great. Unfortunately, this is some of her best work. So do with that information as you will. I've said before, and I'll say again, I'm not the biggest fan of Liv, but at all. But I get her appeal for other people. But yeah, but the way that this match finished kind of leaves like that sour taste in your mouth. You're like, oh, I was kind of enjoying this a little bit, and then that at the end, ooh, yeah. Um, so yeah, I don't know, and Raquel hardly got popped at all,
No pop.
and I mean, I'm glad her health issues are cleared up. Like, I don't want to see people like, well, she wasn't like hurt, but like going through things, and going through like an infection stuff like that. So I'm glad that she's okay on that front. But her as a performer in the WWE, I don't really care. Although I will say her in the enforcer role is the better role for her than that smiling. My whole shtick is that I have a nice back. That was really her whole character as a face when she was last here. So I'm willing to give it a shot. You know what I mean? I'm willing to let things play out and see how they go, but I'm not really excited. As we were just saying, like 5, 10 minutes before, Judgment Day is going back on that downside to where we're not really caring about them, and adding her to the mix doesn't really get me excited. But I will say, do you still like seeing Rhea chase for the belt? Do you think that was botch aside? Do you think Liv retaining and having Rhea still have to deal with this a little bit more to get justice, so to speak? Do you like that aspect or no?
So I just went on a whole like 5 minute rant earlier saying how the championships are kind of worthless right now for those certain people that I mentioned, right? How they don't really. So what? If Felicia, if you're in a championship match, right, and your opponent is laid out for an easy pin, and you're the guy that you want to beat the hell out of is just hanging upside down, is he not going to be hanging upside down in 3 seconds after you win a match? She literally put her thing for Dominic over a championship, which I guess it just shows that the whole storyline thing, because you know how we say CM Punk put the bracelet over beating Drew McIntyre, and like the whole thing with Seth Rollins being the referee, and then Seth had it on his, and I thought that was kind of stupid as well, right? But like they try to make it a story thing. So if this goes up to a broader thing, which I don't think it can anymore, because like this has been a story for a long time already, I think it's stupid. Like it made her seem like she doesn't even care about the championship. She cares about beating up Dominic. Like she could have done that after the match. So it's not like they were gonna like just drop him from the shark cage as soon as she got that pin, she could have went out right after that. And like, why would the referee be like, okay, yeah, go ahead, go beat him up? Like that's fine. Like that's stupid. Like you were saying, it's so stupid. So like she really put that over over the championship. She literally could have just picked because Liv was out. She was still out after she like Rhea went out to the outside. So she could have literally got the pin, did like a 13-minute dance, then got her candlestick and beat the hell out of Dominic. So that was very poorly done, very poorly executed. Then to add more insult to this poorly executed plan, with the whole botch with the referee and Raquel Rodriguez and then putting her on top, putting Liv on top for the pin, like it was just so poorly done. It was a good match until Rhea decided to go outside and be like, let me take care of business for a second. You could have done that anytime. And beating your ex's new girlfriend, or whatever you want to call it, is a huge slap in the face compared to going and getting slapped by a kendo stick. Like, come on, right? Like, taking away the belt from her would have been a bigger dig or hurt than just hitting a kendo stick for a few seconds. So I understand this is all storyline wise, yeah. But if you're trying to glorify a championship and how prestigious it is, like this feud has been going on. Like if this was early on, right? Because did they fight it? Judgment Day. I'm sorry. Fashion Berlin was a tag team match, right? So they won that. So like they kind of got their revenge already. So like if this was the first time after Survivor Series, SummerSlam when she first got turned on, yes, then go ahead and do it. But we've already had them beating up Dominic and Liv for like the past month and a half. So why this could have been the nail in the coffin for the whole like revenge tour, right? Like like the revenge tour is going on. This is the nail in the coffin. I took back my championship. You have no more revenge. You can have the guy. I don't care. I have my best friend Damian Priest who won. I won. I also got the championship back. Screw your revenge tour, right? And then like you could have Raquel Rodriguez come in and be like, oh, Liv will like whatever do a rematch clause if they still have those anymore. Like it's just stupid. No, it doesn't work anymore. Will like obsession. I don't buy that. It's just poorly. It's not. I think you spelled it fine, but I think it's just poorly. It's just poorly written and executed all together at the end. Like at the end, like especially if you're trying to move on with Jey Uso. Like why? He was there. He was hanging there for the rest of the match, even after you got the pin. 3 seconds to get a pin that was out. Even though I wanted Liv to win, like I wanted Liv to win, but like just I hate honestly stupid stuff like that. Like and I complain about that in movies too when someone does something stupid for the audience or whatever it is. It's just it shouldn't be like it doesn't follow logical progression. I don't like that. I was very upset. As soon as that the ref cam thing happened, from then on, terrible.
Yeah. I will say this kind of also goes in back to where you're talking about championships too, where I think also because Liv has barely had any matches outside of Rhea, whether it's for a championship or not, like she's been on screen, but she's barely been like in matches. I think that also kind of has been hurting her reign too, and I feel like none of the other women are bringing it up. That is like, yo, you're the well. I think Lyra might have at one point, but now she's occupied with Pure Fusion Collective or whatever. But
And
like
the
no
other group,
one,
right?
like if this is the only besides the tag team, this is the only women's title that's on the line. Why aren't anyone else trying to go after it? Uh, to go back to logic, and I think that again is faulting her reign, so to speak. I mean, she can be the chicken shit hill. She can be like winning by cheating in nefarious ways. That's classic storytelling in wrestling. But it's like no one else besides Rhea wants this belt.
Right, exactly.
So
And if she wants the belt, why isn't she winning it? Why is she going out to beat up Dominic, who she's done so many times already?
I get that point too. I definitely understand that point as well. But I guess also because it's like Will was saying, the obsession, that hubris that we are seeing with Punk and
No, I get the storyline aspect, but I feel like this storyline's come to an end, so they didn't
no, I get it. No, no, no.
they
Totally 100%. I get it. But also they still could have done all of this without Liv having the title.
right. All
But
right.
because if it's like you said, it does seem like she wants to humiliate Dom and Liv more so than getting that title back. Based on the decisions that are being made, or the decisions that are being made, they could have done all this without a title. But it also is showing the lack of I want to say the main event picture for the women is lacking almost on both brands, but you see it more so on Raw. And that doesn't mean there's lack of talent. There's talent for sure, but the lack of giving the women the time to breathe and actually tell stories is what has been almost the hindrance to the women's division on Raw and SmackDown forever. And which is why people are clamoring for a mid card title, just so the main title picture isn't so crowded, and then they could make more stories, because again they just seem to like forget about the women always.
I
And now with Raw going back down to 2 hours, I don't see how they're going to fix that. I really don't know. But I do think it does go back to not showcasing some of the other women and what they can or cannot do, to at least give the audience that chance to show support. But yeah, but I think we've haggled on this for a little too
Yeah,
long.
I don't know why I'm complaining so much because here at AfterMat we don't really care about the women. So why should WWE care about women? They have no worth. So let's move on to the next match. The final match of the evening was the main event, which was another bad blood match. Featuring the new Bloodline against half of the old Bloodline and Cody Rhodes, your WWE. I don't know what the hell champion is. I think it's a WWE champion now. Um, yeah, and Roman Reigns against Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu representing the new Bloodline. And we start out with Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa come out. That was great. Then we have a band, which was featured on Twitter. I know all this stuff, yes. But I had no idea whose theme song they were playing. It was so poorly done. I'm like, what song is this? And like I've played in a band, right? Like in like a school band. Like I know like with all the instruments, flutes, like trumpets, saxophones, all that, tubas, all that. And I'm like, what the hell song is being played right now? I could not tell for the life of me. This was awful. They were terrible. They were terrible. Then, after that, they have Cody Rhodes' theme song starts saying wrestling has more than one whatever his stupid thing is that starts out, and then his song played, then it stops, and then it goes wrestling has more than one royal family again, and then his song starts again, and he comes out. So what was the point of that? And then they had some people in the band start playing along with this theme song, but they were off time on it. So like I don't know if they had the earpieces in to hear the do I think they were nervous or something? No. Like it was just I don't know what it was. It was awful. But no, it's not only Cody Rhodes' theme song, right? So I'm gonna get to the next one. So like that was already terrible because I know something was going on. Then when they played along to Cody's theme song coming out, it was off time. It was off tempo, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, do they not have the earpieces? Because I know hearing it over, it's hard to hear it over the loudspeakers, even though it's dumb loud. But you're also playing an instrument right here, right? You need to hear it in your ear with an earpiece, and I don't think they had that. So that I can understand, like that stuff I can understand, right? That stuff I can understand because the timing and tempo I can understand being off because they don't have an earpiece. Now the earpiece they might not hear it back, but they could also have a metronome in their ear. Like and that depends. When you see an artist having earpiece, they're not really hearing. Sometimes they're hearing themselves. There's like three different things they can hear. They can hear the bass line. They can hear like a metronome that keeps time, or they can hear their song lyrics coming back at them so they can get the right pitch and tone. So like usually when the singer usually wants to hear the pitch and tone, but you have your other instrument players hearing a metronome or the bass line so they can hear the tempo, right? And I don't think they had that. And when they so that was off timing for the few people who played. I think they just played on their own just to go off script. Like I don't think they had permission to play while Cody Rhodes' theme song was actually going off. Another time that they didn't have it on time was the freaking people who played when Roman Reigns came out. Now, so like the cellos, the violins, and all that, they were fine. They were fantastic. But I myself am a drummer. I played percussion in the band. When I saw the woman playing the timpanis off time, off beat, and not even hitting the timpanis. Go ahead and watch that video on Twitter. She's like, but not even hitting the timpanis. So that those two big drums you see with the mallets, those are called timpanis, right? And she was not even hitting them. And those are not even the sounds that they make. I mean, I guess depending on how much tension you have on it, it could make that sound. But usually it's like the dum 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 sound that you hear like in those old ass like when Space Odyssey 2001, whatever it was, like that song, like the dum 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 dum, like that, like that's what you usually hear. But if you play it towards the edge of it, then you can get the sound that Roman Reigns the opening beats are. But if you look at her, she's playing towards the middle of it, so she's damn near not. She's definitely not anywhere near being a timpani player because she wasn't even hitting it, and she was hitting it in the wrong spot. So being a drummer and being in percussion, seeing that really upset me. I'm gonna go watch it again just to be upset at it again because I need something to be upset about because that just pissed me off. Okay, so that was just terrible. But yeah, so Roman Reigns came to the ring. That was cool, seeing him come to the ring for the first time in a match since WrestleMania that he won WrestleMania 40. We all know he won WrestleMania 40, but they're showing you all this fake news about him not being the champion, but he's currently the champion. We all know he's the champion. He never lost, right? Never lost. WrestleMania 40. Fake news. Fake news. But yeah, so the match starts, and then like I guess Roman and Cody were arguing over who should start the match. Not really arguing, but like Cody's like, I'll start, and he's like, you sure? You sure? And like, all right, you'll start. So basically, Cody got some moves in earlier, but then Jacob and Solo pretty much cut the ring in half and started dominating. Roman got in, Cody started hitting like disaster kick and his little stupid little fall on the ground, punch up in the face, and all that kind of stuff. And Jacob Fatu no sold it, as he should, because he's a superior human being to Cody Rhodes. Then they tag in Roman, and when Solo gets tagged in, they have a little bout, and then tag back Cody, and that's when Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa pretty much cut the ring off and do old school tag team wrestling, which I love to see. Cut the ring in half and dominate your opponent. Eventually, Roman gets the hot tag, and he starts cleaning house for a little bit until Solo and Jacob start to turn the momentum towards their side and start beating up Roman. They go to the outside, fight a little bit on the outside, come back into the ring. Roman's pretty much laid out. Eventually, Roman gets a hot tag to Cody, who comes back in and gains some momentum back until Jacob Fatu hits a pop-up Samoan drop on Cody Rhodes, which brings the momentum back in the favor of the new bloodline. They start to continue to dominate Cody, and once again, they cut off the ring again. And at one point, Cody was very close to making the tag, but the camera work was very good right here. This is probably the best production on the night, in my opinion. You thought Roman jumped off the apron not to tag Cody, but it was actually Jacob Fatu pulling him off the ring. But they didn't show Jacob Fatu because it was very tight on the tag between Cody and Roman. That was very well done. But yeah, Jacob Fatu pulled off Roman from the ring apron, therefore he couldn't make the tag. Eventually, Cody was able to tag in Roman Reigns on a hot tag, and then this is when the whole momentum went towards the Cody and Roman. They started Roman started destroying everybody. Then Cody took Jacob to the outside, put him on the announce table, got up on the top of the ring post, gave a salute to Roman, and the splash to Jacob Fatu to the outside, pretty much taking out Jacob Fatu. There was actually one point before that I should mention that Jacob did hit moonsault, and Solo hit up splash onto Roman, and so this is right before this outside thing that happened. And they went for a pin, but Cody broke it up, and that's when Jacob and Cody went to the outside, and that's what happened in the aforementioned breaking the table. Eventually, Roman was about to hit I think he hit a Superman punch, and he was about to hit a spear, but then Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa came out, and they kind of distracted Roman, and which allowed Solo to get back up and start fighting Roman back and forth. And while the Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga are on the outside, a hooded figure slides from underneath the ring, has a hoodie on. He super kicks Tama Tonga, then Tonga Loa, takes off his hoodie and bandana, and it happens to be the returning Jimmy Uso. This distracts Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa turns it around, gets hit by a spear, gets the 1-2. Gets speared by Roman Reigns. He gets the 1, 2, and 3 for the win for Cody and Solo Sikoa, and then Cody and Roman Reigns, and then Roman's in the corner like a turnbuckle looking at Jimmy. He's like, "You did this for me?" He's like, "Yeah, I did this for you, Uso." He goes, "You call this play?" He goes, "I called." He goes, "For you, Uso." Like, "You're my Uso." And they both get up into the ring and they hug each other and they leave the ring, and Cody's celebrating in the ring. As he's celebrating in the ring, the camera is on Roman and Jimmy as they're walking to the back. You see in the background Cody getting jumped. Jimmy turns around and goes, "We gotta go help him." And Roman goes, "No, that's it, man. That's it. Like, that's my one. That was my one. I promised him one time." He goes, "Nah, man, you gotta get us back. You gotta get us back." So they both hesitate. He goes, I'll go with you. I'll be with you. And Roman like looks. They turns around. He runs to the ring. They clear the ring of the Bloodline 2.0. Roman picks up the belt, looks at it, hands it to Cody, and we'll stop right there for now. Delisha, what'd you think of the match and what happened?
Pretty good.
Up to that point.
Sorry?
Up to that point of when he hands the belt back.
I thought thought the match was pretty good. Um, I thought that Roman and Cody worked really well together. I mean, they have chemistry together just from the amount of times they've been in the ring. You know, it's been on opposite sides of the ring, but just the sheer amount of times they've been um on in the ring with each other, I thought that they worked well as a team. Because sometimes even being opponents doesn't mean you work well as a team. Not in storyline wise, I just mean in general with having chemistry with that person. So it was that was pretty cool to see. Again, the more Jacob Fatu we get on our screen, the more I'm happy. I just love that guy. Because he's just great, and I can't wait to see him pop off on its own. Um, Overall, like I just thought the match was pretty good. Nothing like spectacular. I did enjoy the spot with Cody saluting Roman at the end uh to um to the dive onto Jacob onto the table. I did like that spot. It's so funny because I didn't know until much later that Jimmy slid from under the ring. I could have sworn I saw him walk over, but maybe I just blinked and he was there. I don't know. So like to see later that he actually slid from under the ring, I don't know. To me, that was just hilarious, and I love how Corey was trying to act like he didn't know who it was, or he couldn't see what was going on, and it's like, dude, he's like maybe 15 feet away from you.
But he did have a bandana, and like, so all he could see was like this much. The
Yeah,
eyes. And there's like 700 Samoans in wrestling now, so you never know.
yeah, no, but he was saying because his monitor was out, he can't.
Yeah, I got you.
You see, there's a person there, but I just again, I thought that was like that just made me chuckle because like, dude, yeah, but but I think we all knew it was probably 90, maybe 95% that it was going to be Jimmy because that would make the most sense. But like you said, someone is always debuting in a hoodie, and so
Could have been Cora Jade.
well, she's not that tall.
She could have put on heels.
But yeah, but that was fun, and I guess it was just cinematic to see him saying, do material, and the crowd gave a huge pop when they hugged. So I was like, okay, so the audience is still on board with what we got going on with the bloodline, even if the new bloodline is still kind of faltering. Again, I don't know if that's on purpose or something is not connecting here. But out of them like not really being they just don't feel as dominant. But again, I don't know if that is just if there's a disconnect or if that is literally by creative design to tell that story. But overall, I did enjoy. I did like the match. It wasn't like my favorite, but by no means was it like terrible. Um, but yeah, and then we'll go on to what.
Yeah. So I'm glad you said that. You said you said I don't know why the new bloodline's faltering, right? It should be strong, right? But there's always escalation, right? When there's war, there's always escalation. Like if you remember the end, have you seen The Dark Knight? So the Commissioner Gordon. I mean, sorry if this spoils this movie for people, but this is this movie's I don't know like 10 years old, maybe even older than that, 20 years old, more than 20 years old, whatever it is. It's an older movie, right? He goes, what about escalation? And Batman goes, escalation? He goes, well, we buy semis, they buy automatics. Then we buy automatics, they buy armor-piercing rounds, whatever. And take this guy, like Joker. Like, he brings up the Joker card. Like, so there's always escalation, right, in war. So right now, the Bloodline was dominating. Like, the Bloodline 2.0 was dominating. But now that Roman Reigns comes back, he's that next piece that helped overcome this old Bloodline. Now they add Jimmy Uso to that, and they're like, oh, crap, like, there's nothing that like the Bloodline 2.0 could do, because first they brought in Jacob Fatu, like it was like first Tanga Loa to get rid of Jimmy Uso, then they brought in Jacob Fatu to help get rid of Kevin Owens, RKO, Randy Orton, and then now they brought Roman Reigns back, then they brought Jimmy Uso back. So what can the next step in evolution or escalation be for the Bloodline 2.0? They need something bigger, badder, and stronger, and they're probably not a wavering force. And they happen to find it, or they always had it, in the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, the return of the final boss, The Rock. As Cody holds up his belt, you hear The Rock's music hit, I was watching the clock. I'm like, well, like there's only 2 minutes left. How's The Rock? I'm like, I thought The Rock wasn't gonna come out because there's only 2 minutes left. There's no way The Rock can come out with only 2 minutes left on the clock. Um, and he came out, and and obviously he didn't come out. He just went to the top, and then he gave the little people's eyebrow. Why is Cody sitting next to Roman and they're fighting together? And then he did the whole like that, and then he walked off. So it was much like, I love how its story is progressing. WrestleMania 40 when Roman beat Cody, we had like I predicted earlier before the match even happened. I said, oh, like Jay would come out or Jimmy would come out, and Jay would stop him, and then Solo would come out, and then John would stop him, and then the Rock would come out, and I thought Austin would stop him, but obviously it's Undertaker because they didn't want to pay Austin his fees or whatever he wanted. But that's that little escalation. Now we have the escalation of The Rock coming back. But The Rock, is a very busy man. So he can't be there for all the SmackDowns and all the PLEs and all that stuff. They're going to have to bring another factor in. If it's going to be war games with these families, there's got to be another factor to bring in. Like, I'd rather see the 5-on-5 war games. So they got to bring another factor in. I know there's like 14 of them waiting. I know they signed like 3 of them. And then I know Jay went on record today saying like, hey, there's like we have 7 15-year-olds who are ready to get in the ring now. So like they have like all these kids too. So yeah, welcome Universal. Hikuleo, you're saying is but is Hikuleo the big ass dude? If he is that big ass dude, he is signed to NXT, Universal. So welcome though. I think you're new here. Hikuleo I think is signed to NXT. So he will not be in the War Games, but he will be at War Games. Okay, well yeah. But the thing is, Hikuleo I believe is signed to NXT. He's on the NXT roster. So what?
I just looked it up because you said the big dude. Because I want to make sure this
Yeah.
one. He's 6'8".
Yeah, there's one big ass. He's the younger brother of the Tongans of Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga. He's their younger brother. Like Solo Sikoa is the younger brother of the Usos. He's their younger brother, and he's like big ass. He's a big ass dude. Is the one with the long hair like Bret Hart, like old school. Yeah, that's the guy. He's signed to NXT, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But there's another Fatu, I think. I forgot which one it is. That is signed to the main roster. Who just got signed, and he did not. I can't remember who it was. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, Motor City and Machine Guns are signed for NXT, but are not coming to SmackDown. So yes, that could be another thing that could be happening. So Hikuleo could be coming, yeah. But I think he's got to debut before, right? Because if he's gonna be in the match, unless they say like, oh, we have one secret member, Zilla Fatu, that's it. No, I don't know if it's Zilla, somebody else.
Zilla, I think it's contracted with. Is it MLW or
GCW, I think.
GC?
But no, there's some besides Zilla, there's another one. So I know the name Zilla, I know Hikuleo. It's someone whose name that is escaping me. There's another Fatu that is supposed to be there. I can't remember who it is. But yeah, when I think of it, I'll mention it. But anyway, like I think they should. I don't like when they do the secret man thing, right? Like the secret man thing is fine if it's like a returning superstar that you know. But I don't think no, you didn't know. Did you know who Hikuleo was? No, right? Like I don't really know him. I just know of it from reading on Twitter. So like, if you say it's a secret man, what?
No, if you just say he's part of the family, I just like, oh, okay.
No, but like if you're gonna like debut a secret man, like you'd probably want someone that people know, right? Like so they get that pop, right? You don't want to be like,
Yeah. No, I'm just saying in terms of just asking me, do I know him? I just be like, no. I just know that he's part of the family. I'm just like, oh, okay, then I get it. That's all.
Okay, so Universal says Hikuleo's gonna be because he has the match participants. He's gonna be debuting, but I don't like that though. Like if like what are they gonna say? It's a secret member. Then no one's gonna know who the hell this guy is when he comes out. He's not gonna the pop that he wants. I know on the mic on the headset for us watching the PLE on home, Michael Cole will be like, "Oh my God, it's a Tongan's brother." Like because when Tama Tonga first came out, or Tonga Loa when they first came, I had no idea who that was until the mic said it. Right? Like they said it on the broadcast for us. So if Hikuleo shows up there, besides the marks and all the people who are like really into wrestling, they'll know who it is. But probably 80% of the audience will be like, "Who the hell is this guy?" Okay, he's a Samoan. He must be part of the family. But like they won't have the broadcast from Michael Cole, whoever, Corey Graves explaining who it is. So that's they got to announce it before. If he's debuting, I hope they announce it before the PLE so that people know who he is. But that's it. Alicia, what do you think about the return of the Rock? Like this the simple thing he did with the and the eyebrow.
It provides more questions than answers. But I like those type of things because I like not knowing what to expect. Especially when you've been watching wrestling or specifically WWE as long as we have. A lot of story beats we can kind of know beat by beat how they're gonna go. I mean, I think we expected The Rock to show up, or we had a feeling that that was a possibility. Again, but like I said, it just does it because he didn't say anything.
Right.
I know there's like online clips of him walking backstage and like just basically just talking shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, who's that?
And Solo, someone the guy who was next to Solo in the audience, Solo says it's part of the plan. He like looked at the fan and he goes, "This is part of the plan." And so that's a clip also on Twitter that we have. So I like that they do a little things like that with playing the crowd. But before we get into our finishers, because I know we ran a little bit over, we went a little bit over. Hold on, wait. This guy, Universal says the new Bloodline Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, Jacob Fatu, and debuting Hikuleo with The Rock as their manager versus Roman, Jimmy, Jay, Cody, and Orton. That's weird. Well, we're gonna get to that. Will we're getting to that. Will. I wonder, not Sami Zayn, but Orton. That's kind of weird. Anyway, yeah. So talk about Twitter stuff and all that. After the PLE ends, we do have an incident in the what do you call the parking lot? I guess it is. So now NXT parking lot is not the only unsafe place to be. The WWE PLE parking lots are not safe as well because we had an incident between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens captured by fans. And security running out where Cody Rhodes is confronted by Kevin Owens and then beaten up. So Kevin Owens has turned heel. Yeah. So what do you think about the Kevin Owens heel turn and how they did it, Alicia?
Like how they did it. It's different because they don't really do things like this as far as something major like this. And of course, they utilize Twitter and have like backstage footage or behind the scenes type of things like that. But to have someone um be attacked after the show, after quote unquote the cameras are gone, the production cameras are gone. Um, I did like this slow change of pace. We do. I mean, they've been building this up for a while, and for them not to do it on TV is pretty, like I said, pretty cool. Someone did say, Cody Rhodes' tour bus is the second dangerous most place after the NXT parking
Yeah,
lot.
because it was on fire last time.
So that was
I no. Now that Kevin Dunn is gone, I love how they're doing new. It's gonna be kind of ironic in a second when I say this. What I'm saying now is gonna be kind of ironic in a second. You'll see why. I like the new type of production that they are doing, right? With the new drone shot that Logan Paul asked them to do that one time, and now doing this backstage, not even a truly backstage angle using social media. I know they do with The Rock with his promo sometimes, but like I love having. Good night, Universal. Thank you for stopping by. I like how they did, this new angle with Cody Rhodes and not new angle, but it's Kevin Owens Cody Rhodes angle in a new method. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and they had like sort of a more cinematic opening, I believe, to this PLE, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so ironically, we'll get to that now. Delisha, your low point, your high point, your overall grade.
Yeah. Low point for me is gonna be like the botchness of the ending to Rhea and Liv. Like we were saying before, it was a pretty like good match between them up until that point. High point, I'm giving it to the Hell in a Cell. Like they really brought it. It really set the I don't want to really say the tone really for the PLE, but it really, I guess it got the you watching and engaged. Especially if we do think this is the end for those two in particular, feuding or at least stopping for now. That was my high point. Overall, I would give the PLE a maybe like B minus for some hit and misses over around there. And like I said, I really do think the Hell in a Cell should have ended the show. I mean, even though you do want to have that big reveal with The Rock, because he is, you know, as he is the most known.
He is the final boss.
Yeah, case in point, he is the final boss. I get that part, but I do think match wise, I do think that should have ended the show, or main event of the show. But I did still enjoy the matches that we had. I enjoyed. I think like you did point out that I don't know why I didn't make that connection either. That all of these pretty much were like grudge type of matches. To for the namesake of Bad Blood, and it does still get me excited to see what we have coming up, leading up to Survivor Series War Games.
One bad thing I'd say, I heard to mention this earlier. I guess now it's a good time to mention it. That we covered all the matches. Every single match, we we talk about we don't like to see interference, but like every single match had interference aside from the Hell in a Cell, which is hard to interfere in unless you're Kane, right? Who could rip through the cage wall. Like every match had interference except for the Hell in a Cell match. So that's kind of stupid. Anyway, so my point for me, my low point was the production. I was just talking about how good the production has been up to this point with the drone footage, doing the whole thing with Roman, with Cody and Kevin on the outside, and all that. The ideas, the creativity, I love that. But the production for this event was terrible. I thought having Cody Rhodes' music go off twice in a way, having the band not playing on tempo or not even know what song they're playing, have the timpani drummer not even drum the right beat at the right time in the right spot. That was terrible. The whole ending of the shark cage match, that was awful. Like all that production, like that was terrible. So the production for me was a low point. High point was the Hell in a Cell match. Yes, that was great. Overall grade, I'm gonna give it a B plus because I thought there's 5 matches. Half of one was bad, which is the end of the Rhea Ripley match. And also the Damian Priest match was pretty bad. Right? So that was 2. So that hit off a point and a half. Right? So that's going down to a B, right? So you get down to a B from an A, you go down to a B. But then you have The Rock come back. So that's a B plus. I'm gonna bring that to a plus. It should be an A minus, but I don't want to, since he didn't talk, it's a B plus when we go to. Our village idiot over here, Will, says the high point was Cell match. The low point was the botches in the Bailey and Nia match. There was and A minus he gives it. And he says Hell in a Cell should have main evented. I've been forced to look at all of Will's bad takes he's been putting on Twitter. I don't know if you follow him on Twitter, but like we know Will is the king of the worst takes. And he's been putting these terrible takes on the internet, on Twitter. I am thinking, as the secret boss, it is my duty to now send him a picture of a spider every time he puts a bad take on Twitter or on here on AfterMat. Because we have to end this. It's like a virus here for AfterMat. All these bad takes that he keeps giving us. So I might have to assert myself as a secret boss, start sending him spider pictures, because that's the only way he'll learn to have stop having all these bad takes. But before we go and talk about when you'll see us next, Alicia, I know you have posted one video since Avery has been born, I believe. What have you been up to? Where can we find you?
Basically, I've been up to keeping this one alive and keeping my sanity intact, trying to deal with a newborn and a toddler. So I haven't really been able to film much as I thought I could do. But I'm still going to try to get more content out as much as I can. But it's just really hard, and I'm going back to work soon, so that will make it even harder. But if you like to stay tuned, you can find me on Instagram and YouTube at Alicia Renee TV, where we handle lifestyle recipes and just in general like mom content as well, if you're into that. So if you basically stay tuned to my Instagram, which will let you know when YouTube videos have hit.
Yeah, as per us here on AfterMat, the next time you'll see us is after sort of the Survivor Series PLE. The actual PLE is on November 30th, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So you will see us in December for the AfterMat on the Monday after to cover Survivor Series. We will not be covering Crown Jewel, as we usually don't cover the Saudi PLEs. even though they have it right when it comes to laws of women. Here on AfterMat, we do support Saudi rights, and that's why we allowed Felicia now to be out for an hour or so. She went over her time today, but after this, we will put her back in her cage and lock her up because that's how we treat women here on AfterMat and all that. So until next time, remember, you guys are all idiots, and the secret boss is always right. See you guys later.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. On we'll go, finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest, echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon.